I'm going to discuss how to find the coordinates of midpoints of line segments on coordinate planes. All right, so let me draw a coordinate plane, and I will put a few line segments on the coordinate plane, and we will discuss how to find the coordinates of the midpoints of those line segments. All right. Almost done drawing. Okay, and so for our line segments, we will work with the following. Let's do a line segment from the origin to 2, 4. And let's do a line segment from 1, the point with coordinates 1, -1, to the point with coordinates 3, -3. And then finally, let's do one with coordinates -4, 1, to the point with coordinates -2 and 3. Okay, so I will specify the coordinates of all the endpoints so that there's no misunderstanding. This endpoint has coordinates 2 and 4. And then the other endpoint is the origin. And then this one has coordinates -1 and -1. And then the other one has coordinates 3 and -3. And then this one has coordinates -4 and 1. And -2 and 3. Okay, so we know by definition that midpoints divide line segments into two smaller line segments such that both of those smaller line segments are congruent. Okay, and let me put a dot in the rough location of the midpoints of these three line segments, and we'll discuss how to find the coordinates. All right, so let's do the line segment with an endpoint at the origin first, okay? The way that we're going to figure out the coordinates of the midpoint is as follows. So let's focus first on the x-coordinate of the midpoint. Now, the x-coordinates of the line segment range from 0 to 2, right? What is the number exactly in between 0 and 2? It's 1, right? Okay, now let's do something similar for the y-coordinate. The y-coordinates of that line segment range from 0 to 4. What's the number in between, exactly in between 0 and 4? It's 2, right? So the coordinates of the midpoint are 1 and 2. Okay? So that same idea is going to apply to all line segments on a coordinate plane. So let's do the one with an endpoint at the point with position 1, -1. All right? So let's focus first on the x-coordinate of that midpoint. So the x values for that line segment range from 1 to 3, right? What's the number exactly in between 1 and 3? It's 2. Okay? The y values range from -1 to -3. What is the number exactly in between -1 and -3? It's -2, right? So that's the coordinates of that midpoint. Now, I invite you to pause the video and try to find the coordinates of the last midpoint using the same procedure I used on those two line segments. Okay, so do that now. All right, so I'll go ahead and do this. So the x values range from -4 to -2. So the number right in between those two numbers is -3. And the y values range from 1 to 3. The number exactly in between 1 and 3 is 2. So the coordinates of that midpoint are -3 and 2. Okay, so that's how you find the coordinates of midpoints of line segments. Now, I want you to notice something. Another way you could have described how to calculate the coordinates of the midpoint is by averages. Okay, so for example, for the very first line segment that we did, what if we explained it this way? Let's average the x values and let's average the y values. Notice that that would have given you the same coordinates for the midpoint. All right, let's do the same with the other line segments. Let's average the x values and then let's average the y values. Okay, simplify those fractions and you'll notice that that gives the same answer as before as well. Okay, now pause the video and find the average of the x values and the y values of the endpoints of the last line segment and see what you get. Okay, do that now. Okay, I'll go ahead and do that as well. So if I average -4 and -2, and if I average 3 and 1, what do I get? I get -6/2 and 4/2, or -3, 2. All right, so this average method is another way to explain how to find the midpoint. Okay, let's finish up with one last exercise for you to do. Okay? Find the coordinates of the midpoint of the line segment with endpoints at the positions with coordinates, let's say 2, -6 and 4, 8. All right, you can find the coordinates of the midpoint any way you like. You can draw a coordinate plane, whatever you want to do. All right, so pause the video and do that now. Okay, so I'll go ahead and work it out using the two equivalent methods that I discussed so far. So the x values range from 2 to 4 for this line segment. The number in between 2 and 4 is 3. The y values for this line segment range from -6 to 8. The number in between -6 and 8 is, let's see, 1. Okay, so the answer is the point with coordinates 3 and 1. Okay, now the other way you could have calculated this answer was taking the average of the x coordinates and the average of the y coordinates, and that would have given you 6/2 and 2/2, so 3, 1. All right, so hopefully that makes it more clear how to find the coordinates of midpoints.